Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us for our another week that we are having here in this lockdown period. And Mondays are always our exciting day. It's called the Power Mondays, a time where we sit down and talk about things that matter, that will lift us all up, our spirits up, and our mindset up for this season. Now, how many of you realize that right now we are in Euro 2020 Football Championship Tournament? How many of you are following Euro 2020? If you are, please say yes. It's 2021 right now, but actually they are playing it was supposed to held in 2020 last year in Copenhagen, but because of COVID, they have delayed to the Euro 2020, the tournament to be right now. How many of you are following the tournament right now? Right, which team are you supporting right now? And by the way, Euro 2020 is a tournament of all European countries only, right? Central, Northern, Eastern Europe, all coming together as a tournament for European nations, right? Well, who is your favorite team? Anyone, football team in Euro 2020? Well, only 2% watching football. Well, interesting. Portugal, right? This is so interesting and exciting, right? Football it's supposed to be the world's greatest game to watch, the world's greatest tournament, right? France, there you go. But right now, I don't think everyone is the right peace of mind to just follow through with football. But I thought today's conversation, Italy, thank you, Sharon. The conversation today we're going to talk about, it's about how to get great collaboration, great teamwork. But I want to shift our focus a little bit in the first part of the conversation before I bring our both guests in today, is that a good teamwork exists in a good community. Let me repeat again. A good teamwork exists in a good community. And a good community have multiple facets of it. You have the environment, you have the people, you have the belief system, you have the values, and you have the way you respond to crisis. Now, I want to play a short video now for those who were following Euro 2020. This happened on Saturday. This tragic moment happened on Saturday. But I want you to observe this whole video. This video has no commentary. It's just a video showing what's happening in the stadium, what's happening on the field. But I want you to watch the players. I want you to watch how people respond to this time of crisis. And we're going to have a quick conversation about it. So Marcus, can you please play that video right now? Okay. So what happened was the striker number 9, Christian Eriksen of Denmark. It was a match between Denmark and Finland. At the last 5 minutes of the first half, he had a cardiac arrest and he collapsed and his heartbeat stopped. And to cut the story short, the paramedics and the people managed to revive him through a defibrillator. And he's now in the hospital recovering. He's 29 years old, very healthy. He had a cardiac arrest and he fell down. That was the talk of the whole Euro 2020 in the last weekend. But one of the things that I realized is how people respond to the situation. What was some of your observation when you watched that video just now? How did the rest of the people around him responded? Anyone? What did you see? Put in the chat box. What was the people doing? What was the players doing? What was his team members, Denmark team members were doing? They were gathering around him. Why were they gathering around him? Praying for him. What else? Protect him. What were they protecting him for? Privacy, absolutely right. They wanted to make sure that nobody is taking pictures of him from the media. They're protecting him and give the space for the medics to do their job. They responded as fast as they could to do what they could to do something for that person. Now, I find myself wondering, by the way, that game, Denmark lost 1-0 to Finland. They actually continued the game after the whole situation. But I thought the Denmark team won the game because they won the hearts of the people around the world, because they were a role model of how a community should behave and how people should work together as a team, not only when we are playing the game, but when one of our team members are down. How many of you will wish that if you collapse one day, or if you go through a difficult season one day, you have people around you like that? How many of you believe that that will be something that will help you lift you up? How many of you want that kind of community? So that the goal is you need to be in the community first, right? And one of the things you saw was everybody were contributing despite of what they were, right? Everybody was contributing. Everybody was responding to the challenge. One of the first things, there are three things I learned about community in this video I watched yesterday night. Number one, if you are in a good community, a good sign of a good community is when you are down, you'll be surrounded with people that's offering to help. That's a natural thing that will happen when you go down. Someone else is going to come here and try their best to lift you up. Not only one, but people will come. But you must be in the community first, right? If you're in the right community. Number two, everyone in the community wants to contribute automatically. When you see someone down, right, it is very natural for a good community, or the people in a good community will begin to respond quickly to want to make things better. Now, they may not have the skill set, they may not have the understanding. None of them understood how to resuscitate him, but they understood how to call for help. They understood how to give him privacy. They understood how to protect him from the shield of the media, right? So that he gets the dignity, right? So that's where you talk about everyone will respond and help, right? And sometimes in a community, right, you are either, you have the privilege and the opportunity either to be helped or to help others. So I want to sink in this message to everyone this morning. This is a season that the greatest challenge ever, I think, in our business we have ever faced before. That the importance of being in a right community, in a good community, is ever more important than ever before. So I'm calling out everyone here today. If you are not part of any communities in this organization, or you don't know which community to fit in, if you cannot find one to fit in, go form another community yourself. Nothing is stopping you from building people around you and say, hey, let's gather together and do something together every day. Let's collaborate. Let's do something so that we can lead generate together. Let's sit down and brainstorm. So if you cannot find a community to be in, go form one. Don't let any excuses stop you from being alone. Do not be alone in this situation. Do not be alone in this opportunity. If you look at Erickson just now, if he was alone, he may not have survived. By the way, they need to defibrillate him one time to resuscitate him after several CPR approach on him. And they needed people to rescue him. They needed people to help him. So what I'm saying is, out there, if you are a solo agent, you are alone right now, your market center has many, many opportunities. I know this week you're all doing the GPS workshop. There are certain groups that your team leaders are forming to collaborate, to help check in on you, to hold you accountable. All these things are existing because we want to form communities, and sometimes smaller communities around locations or particular market segment to support one another. This is what we need to do well in this season. Right? I'm asking everyone, so do not be alone, but begin to ask yourself, which community should I be part of? Or if there isn't any existing community that I'm a fit, form your own. Form your own and let people come to you. 2 or 3 or 4 gathered together consistently on a daily basis to support each other. So I thought that this is the best message for us to start the week as we are entering into another 2 weeks of lockdown. I am quite certain that it may be more than 2 weeks. That the worst is maybe more than 2 weeks, right? I mean, it'd be great we come out in July, but I don't foresee that happening. I'm being very, very conservative in how we're going to move on forward from here. That's why the communal services is very important for all of us. And today we want to showcase an example of what does that mean in the community by 2 people or 3 people coming together. So today we have a guest. We have Noorain and also Anita Sharma. Noorain, by the way, is from Market Center 1. Anita is from Market Center 2. So this is an example of how a community can be formed, even you are all from different market centers, even you're all from different belief system, different backgrounds, but yet you can be part of a community. So thank you, Noorain and Anita, for joining us. Maybe you can just quickly introduce yourself to everyone here. I know you're all probably everyone has known you, but there are some who have not known you yet. Maybe you can just quickly introduce yourself and how long you've been in this business and which area of focus are you focusing in real estate. Maybe you can start with Noorain first.
Hi, good morning. Assalamualaikum. I have been with Ripfield for 5 years. That's where I started my real estate journey after retiring from being a teacher for 15 years. So I started from knowing nothing, started with Mr. Ganesh. My good friend Jennifer Yap brought me in. I learned every day. I went to the office every day. So that's how I started. So it's been 5 years and I'm liking it. I think I will go for another 10 years probably.
Right, cool. Anita, how about you? You're muted, Anita.
Okay,
There you go.
sorry. Good morning. I'm Anita. I'm with Ripfield MC2 now for about 13 years already. Came in under Ronnie Fernandez, directly under him. And the journey has been just going on. I can't see myself doing anything else. I was a banker before I came into the real estate.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. So, Noorain, let's talk about a particular case in point here where you were during a transaction. I think one of our meetings, we actually got you to share very briefly, but you managed to close a transaction or you were going through some challenges in that transaction. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about that, Noorain. What deal were you both working on and what made you decide to ask for help? Maybe you can share about that.
Okay. I have been working on sub-sales. I did try on projects few years back, but I decided that sub-sales were more for me because I was already holding a big listing. And then, but somehow Pavilion clicked to me. Somehow I've always wanted to be connected to Pavilion. Maybe Anita will tell you why later. So when Anita became the team leader, so it makes it easier. We've been friends. So I said, I want to know about Pavilion. So I want to collaborate with you. This will be a project that I would want to work on. So she brought me to Pavilion Embassy in Jalan Ampang, and then I followed her to Pavilion Bukit Damansara, and then to Bukit Silon. So I've seen all the projects and learned about it and did some proposals to some clients. But we also meet up. I told her, I need to learn more. I need to learn more because I needed to learn what it's like to do projects because it's totally different for me. So only Anita could help me because she was already doing projects. So that was how the collaboration started, actually.
Right, and you chose to reach out because you could read everything by your own, but you chose to reach out to ask for help, right?
Yeah, I want to be a little bit manja with her, so because I know she will explain to me, and I just absorb it in.
What made you decide to ask for help?
Because to me, project is really something that I need to learn because doing sub-sales totally different. Doing projects, I need to learn about the area, what is being offered, what is the different, the theme, so many things. So now I know what are the things that I need to learn. But before this, I had no clue at all.
Right, and you reach out for help because you know you couldn't do it by yourself.
No, I couldn't, not at all.
Right. Okay, cool. So Anita, back to you now. In terms of this collaboration, what are some of the things that you enjoy, and why do you believe in collaboration? Why do you believe in helping one another, even though sometimes there isn't guaranteed, right? Like Noorain will not guarantee bring you a lead that will sell something that will give you a return on investment, right? Sometimes the return is not very like you don't see a direct return sometimes, or maybe you not see a return at all. I'm sure you have done that before, but why? What makes you enjoy doing this, helping each other, and then helping people to understand and learn about the projects that you're selling? Can you just share a little bit about that?
Firstly, I would say that it's the drive in Noorain. From the very beginning, she has shown that very, very positive drive to learn. I mean, a little background on us is we go way back. We were friends since primary school. So yeah, we are of the same age. And
that was about 7 years ago, right?
Oh yeah, no, 6 years. So that actually got me more excited too, because a friend from, from before is interested to do something that I'm handling. And wherever I went, she came along and she wanted to learn. We sat for hours in the gallery, did work together. So I think at the end of the day, it was her interest and her, determination to learn that gave her success today. So, but at the end of the day, it's not only Noorain. We have a few people, a few agents who are interested, and I do give the same support. But it depends, because some they go halfway, some just on the surface, they just want to find out. So it depends on how much they want to know. So, but I'm there to actually lead all the way. So that's how I work.
Right. But why do you enjoy doing this? Because it doesn't bring 100% return as you spend the time and the effort. But why do you enjoy doing this?
First of all, it's a purely it's a collaboration, so you see it as a very positive teamwork. And then I think also basically it's the trust. You actually trust each other to work together. And then of course at the end of the day, when the sale happens, it's a joy of being a team leader, seeing that someone has been successful and you've been part of it. It's a win-win situation for both parties. So of course, the biggest joy is actually seeing through the whole process and seeing a successful, end to the sale.
Right. And can I ask, like you say, you like to see the win-win situation, you like to see other people's success. How does that make you feel when you see other people successful? And you had a privilege to play a small part in, like, I'm sure most of them do majority of the work, but you were there, and some you do a bit more than others. But how do you feel when you are able to be part of someone else's success?
It's hard to describe, but I would say that it really made me very, very happy, because I made a difference in encouraging someone to take that step. So at the end of the day, that person's success is my success too. So, however small the percentage is, but, so definitely it is something I believe that everyone should experience in their life. Actually, they should work together as a team, because I've always been working as a team, whether it's sub-sale or project, but I've always been working as a team, collaborating with agents, whether in KW Malaysia or even external agents. So it has always been been a very important part in my life, actually.
Right. And you put a lot of emphasis on community working, right? Not by yourself. You have people around you. And I notice on your social media, you all be meeting every week or something like that in the community, and I'm not sure whether they're all from the same primary school, but I see they are, and what I notice is there are people from different backgrounds.
Yes.
Right? Because sometimes we get so cliquish and say, oh, I only talk to certain background people, or I only talk to certain kind of people with certain ethnicity and all. But that's not what I see. I see that it's composed of everyone. It's very inclusive. Would you agree that that's something that you are able to leverage on each other's strength, but at the same time, you feel that you're part of this community, right?
Yes, I agree, 100%.
It's your own initiative. Your initiative by everyone. It's not something that the company does. It's something that you all create the initiative yourself, right?
Yes. I think it's all to do with also having like-minded people. And I think it's like a magnet thing that you get attracted and you pull that force towards you. And I think it's amazing because I was a solo agent in the past, but I think along the way, I am on a platform, but besides being on a platform, I also have my other circles. So I'm not alone. I have many circles that I work with, and I think it's very strong. It's very strong. Yeah.
Would you say that, sorry, I'm just spending a little bit more time with Anita. Would you say that in 13 years of your business, in the past 2 years has been the time that you spend the most with communities compared to the last 13 years?
Yes, I would say that the last 2 years happen to be the best as in working together. I think it's all about working together that has brought me the best. The last 1 year was the best year for me throughout these 13 years.
So the best year in terms of monetary results on your business? Let's just be clear about it. It's the
That's
best
right.
year for you so far because you were part of the community and you
Yes.
had people around supporting you. So thank you for sharing that. I want
Yeah.
this thought to sink in for everyone in this group here today as you listen. Wow, how community is so powerful. It can drive us to be a better version of ourselves. Now, Nora, I'm going to come to you. Let's talk about a certain case in point about a certain particular transaction with a foreign buyer that you recently closed. Can you share a little bit about that? It's a 100% foreign buyer. You did this 100% virtually. Tell us what happened.
Okay. I was approached by an old friend. So this is a referral case. I don't know this person. So we got connected and then we started to chat. So I asked for about a week. We were discussing what he would like, what he's looking for. And for a week, I was like trying to figure out what I can propose. So during that 1 week, I actually met up with Anita at Pavilion Bukit Damansara. I had one concern because I was given only 1 million budget. So, but I would like to propose something from Pavilion, but the way I see it, everything's above 1 million. So Anita actually assured me, why don't you just try? You can never know. Maybe he will take to it. So I was looking at something below 1.5, 1.3. But looking at what he wanted KLCC view. He wanted close to the city. He wants to walk to everywhere, like KLCC Pavilion, everywhere in the city, in the Golden Triangle. So I made a brave move after, being reassured by Anita. I proposed two pavilion project, one at Pavilion Embassy in Jalan Ampang, and Bukit Silon. Bukit Silon had everything that he wanted except for the price. So even after everything, he said, it's got 80% of what I wanted. So I played around with that. So after that discussion, after I proposed, I told him, I got 80% of what you wanted. I know, except for the price. But if you would like for me to arrange for, an appointment to actually have to know more about the property, I can arrange for it. And I was surprised. He said yes to it. And we arranged for the meeting with the developer.
Right.
So
Can I
yeah.
there for a while, right? Now you given a budget of 1 million, and this is how much is this particular property you're looking at right now? Like they were looking at. Can I know?
2.1 something. 2.1.
It's 100% above what he wanted.
Yeah,
And
that 20% that we didn't meet.
Right. But you chose and you didn't stop there.
No.
Now tell me why. Tell us why. I'm sure majority of us, there was a certain moment in time that you have a limiting belief. I don't think he would buy one. 1 million very difficult,
Yeah.
But what changed you to even be bold enough to propose and ask him this?
Because I knew he had 1 million for Kuala Lumpur and he had 1 million for Istanbul. So he has allocated 2 million to buy property in these two countries. So I didn't push him like hard selling, but I pushed him into spending that money in KL instead of, putting one here and one there. At the end of the day, he still wanted in both places. So we both actually suggested for bank loan, half bank loan and half whatever that he had.
Right. So you didn't have limited beliefs. You went ahead with the conversation. So tell us what are some of the things that you do? What you did virtually, by the way, is 100% virtual, right? Everything was on Zoom and all that. Tell us, how did you convince him, or how did you influence him in that presentation? And what happened? Who supported you? What supported you to do this, to make this work?
Okay. We spent 90 minutes with the developer. So he saw all the presentation that was prepared by the developer. So he saw what the view would be like, So he had some bird's eye view of the surrounding. He was impressed with the presentation, but he wasn't convinced enough because he had that, 2 million in his head that he has to spend. So he asked for another 90 minutes to talk to me, more like asking more about other projects. So I told myself, okay, after that 90 minutes, this other Zoom call that I will have privately with him will be the, you know, what will determine his decision. So, but then I told myself, don't push him, just educate him what is best, because I'm Malaysian. I will tell him what is nice, you know, why it's nice to get a property there, or if not, you know, I actually told him that I would do a backup plan for him if he can't go ahead with this one. So I think he kind of liked that, because he knew that I wasn't eagerly trying to push this pavilion to him. But at the same time, I was actually presenting what was around it, why he should buy there, but more from my point of view, because I told him if I had the money, I would buy it there.
Right. Awesome. Now, Noorain has been very, very gracious and very generous in, actually, she has an excerpt of a recording of how she actually communicated this with the client. How many of you would like to see that recording, how she spoke to the client? On Monday, it's still free, but after tomorrow, you have to buy a property from her to understand how she did it, okay? So if today only you can see her, if tomorrow you want, you better go buy something from her, then you will understand that. So I'm going to get Marcus to play that video. Just hang on for us, ladies. I'll get Marcus to play I think it's a 4-minute video. And then you guys just sit back and watch how she does it.
You like our Twin Towers. I mean, like, who wouldn't love the Twin Towers? At different point of the day and the night, when you see it, it's just so majestic. You've traveled around the world. There are many.
Was it Mohammed?
Yeah, Mahathir. So, and the next one, Najib, is the TRX. so that's coming up as well. Yeah. But you know that the KL Tower is also so beautiful because it's like on a hill of Bukit Nenas. So the prestige areas, Bukit Nenas, Bukit Ceylon, because these are the areas where when the Japanese were here, when the British were here, those are the place where they made into their office and where their bosses are. So people will look up to that area. So even until now, when we say Bukit Ceylon, Bukit Nenas, Bukit Bintang is not on a hill, so they don't, you know, the locals, they don't really like think high up. You know, when you are in that position, you need to be high up. So Bukit Nenas. So you know, that's why they preserve these areas. Also, keep the name. A lot of the places in KL, they have changed the names, but not this. Bukit Ceylon, they could have changed it to some other names.
No, I'm glad they didn't. But you know what? You're making me fall in love with it even more now.
The Ceylon? Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, I'm saying this because I stayed there for 12 years. And I love that place because people would have to go through traffic jam. You know, the traffic is really bad to get into KL. I could just walk to the shopping malls. So, you know, my friends started to park their cars at my place, and we started to go shopping by, you know, we just walk. And these were like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Yeah, but now it's even much better.
Again, every time I keep continuing this conversation, I'm falling more in love with that apartment.
Because I'm in love with it. So I only talk about it, you know, from my point of view.
From your heart, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you sent me the picture from the 50th floor, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's stunning. It's stunning.
Yeah, it is
right?
stunning. You know, when Teddy presented to you today, that was also like my first presentation, the whole thing. And I said, wow. And then when you said you wanted the KLCC, but my eyes were directed to KL Tower, because when I was at the showroom, we took our picture at that place where Teddy showed, you know, it turned out so beautiful because it's just like going up there and it's just that one tower up there. Yeah. Yeah. And Teddy's right. I mean, like if you want to see KLCC, you can go up to the 52nd floor, or you can always go to, you know, other restaurants and so many.
KLCC. Why I want to see 1.5 of KLCC. Right?
Yeah, and when you can have the full view of the whole Bukit Nenas. And you know, KL Tower change colors every time there's something going on.
What is up there? Is it a restaurant?
Restaurant, you know, the lookout tower.
Wave at the people eating there.
Yes, you can. And it changes color. Like if it's AIDS, International AIDS Day, and it's going to be red. You know, it's so amazing. One time it was like unicorn color, and we didn't know what it was, but you know, it's just so interesting. So every time we pass by KL Tower, I always look forward to see what color it is. And you can see that from your living room. I'm jealous.
You speak to Teddy, yeah? Make this happen.
Right. So you make the client fell in love with the building and that's why he decided, right? How long was the conversation, Noorain?
90 minutes about.
Right.
About
And then
90 minutes.
he decided after that.
Yeah. After that, we started to proceed with the steps to get the unit.
Right. What are some of the guys who are on the call? What are some of your observations about how Noorain was? Yes, she speaks from her heart. Client noticed it. There was never one time he pushed her. You better buy now. You don't buy tomorrow. That's it. You'll be over already. The property is gone or whatever. You know, it is the cheapest deal in town. You don't say things like that. And she learned how to connect. Right. She learned how to connect. She learned how to imagine. She learned how to communicate and describe. And she's smiling all the way. Correct. Very pleasant. Very nice to talk to. Right, more like a tour guide presentation from the heart. So that's important. Thank you for sharing that, Noorain. And you have done it 100% virtually. Are you still doing this with other clients right now, being virtual?
Well, I try, but I must say it's a big challenge actually. Somehow I can do it with the foreigners, but not with the locals. I'm chatting with 2 Irish person now, but you know I can't seem to get it done here.
But you truly believe that this is possible?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yes, can.
Possible, right, awesome. I'm going to ask you another question, all right? In your collaboration with Anita and working through some of this stuff and all that, what were some of the challenges that you face? And if there were any challenges, how did you overcome it?
I would say throughout this particular thing, I didn't have much problem with Anita. We both were facing some problem with the client, ups and downs, but I'm thankful that I have her, because every time something stressed me out, I would just go to her, Anita, please help me. She's there. You know, we don't have problem with working with each other. I can't remember anything. Yeah, that I had
Anita, how about you? What are some of the challenges or problems that you had in this collaboration or with other people as well, and how do you overcome them?
I think like what Noorain said, throughout this process with Pavilion Ceylon Hill, didn't really come across anything. I mean, between us, there was nothing. I think it was very smooth because we were always communicating. We were always giving each other the boost, like, don't worry, give it. And then also seeing when to take the action, when to reply. I think Noorain handled it very well. She even gave like a breather to the client over 1 day or 2 days, you know, like not engaging with him. And so I think she handled it very well. But of course, I was there for her if she needed to check on anything, to let out her frustrations and stuff like that. So I think it went very smooth in that sense. And I think the other thing also is we were dealing with the developer, and I would say the developer also acted very promptly. So like every question that came from the buyer, we actually replied like within the first 5-10 minutes. It's always like that. We never prolonged it. We never kept it overnight or ignored it. So we were always in very constant communication, and I think the developer played a very big role in getting all the information that we needed very, very quickly. So
Right.
yeah, it was quite a smooth collaboration between me and Noorain. Yeah.
And you just point out correctly, sometimes working with the right developers with the right mindset creates part of the community, right? Because that helps with the whole way of transferring of information to the client directly. And sometimes you trust them enough to even have that direct communication with you in the loop, right? So that's also important.
Yes.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit, Anita. You've been in this business 13 years. And I don't think it was before the last 2 years, you were not, both of you, especially, and I'll come back to you, Noorain, about this, that social media, virtual thingy, and all these technology applications weren't something that you are good at, and you never see yourself doing it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And what has changed? What has helped you go out there? Because I noticed both of you are very into social media, and I know Noorain is trying to be her own character on TikTok. I see that a lot. I'll come to that to another later. But Anita, I see that you're in this business long enough, and to shift that mindset, right? And a lot of people, I think, in this audience are in this business for a long time. To shift and go digital and go virtual and look at different approaches. How have you been able to do that?
Yeah, like what you said, in the past, the way we did our business was different. Of course, being digital at that time, it was not very comfortable, so, and most of the time you feel that you don't know this and that. But I think what changed it is wanting to be relevant, wanting to be in the market, and wanting to be par with the other agents, other successful agents out there. So it's basically just trying to learn as much, always trying to create. I sometimes I don't know something, I just create something, make mistakes, do flyers or do some videos. I mean, I'm still not great at videos, but I think I've been practicing quite a bit, but I've not really put it out there yet. So I'm working on that. As far as trying to even create flyers and stuff like that, over I think the last year, I think since the MCO 1.0, I think that has been like my favorite pastime, just sitting on the phone, going on Canva and just creating, and I think that has helped me now, actually, because doing that is not a problem anymore. So yeah, trying to be more on online and being more in social media, that is the main focus right now. And I think we actually, me and Noorain, we actually push each other. We challenge each other. We have to do this and we have to do that. And that's what we've been doing lately.
Right.
We've been challenging each other.
Right. And there's all this talk that, it's hard for us to learn. We are maybe of a certain age that it's difficult for me to understand. How do you break that barrier, Anita? How did you tell yourself that age is not an issue here?
I think from the very beginning, I never thought that I will never be able to learn. I've always been interested. So from the very beginning, I told myself, I don't know, I'll just need to learn. And I think it's all self-learning as well, just from trial and errors. But yeah, but I have met many agents, maybe even younger than me, who feels that they're too old for the technology. And I do encourage them a lot, but it depends. Some do follow and some maybe will just get out of it and probably leave the company too. So I'm glad that that nature of wanting to learn is there. So I think it's not about age, it's about what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
It's what you want to become. It's how relevant you want to stay in the business.
Exactly.
How you
That's right.
survive and thrive. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to come to you. How about you? What has helped you to, like, you are now a TikTok trying to be a TikTok sensation, right? So tell us about that. Tell us what's going on inside and what's driving you to want to take all this challenge up.
Well, actually, I started from last year. I had this fear of public speaking. I was called by Rick Field twice that I remembered, and I couldn't speak. I couldn't get anything out from my mouth without shaking or without holding my chest, make it, calm it. So I said, I must do something about it. So I said, okay, let's start little by little. I was a Kumon instructor. I always tell students one step at a time, every day practice. So I started that last year. Every day I said I must do a 1-minute content, just to share why I started real estate. So I did, and I must tell you, the first video that I did for that 1-minute time frame, I took about 3.5 hours to get it done. And I think about maybe close to 40 something takes, because I kept stopping. I was nervous in front of the camera and nobody was watching. So that was the fear of me, public speaking. So I did it every day. Every day I didn't know that you can just, have that app to make up, to do up your face on TikTok. So I would like wear makeup every day, and for 5-6 days for the week, I just had to present something. So after a week, actually it helped a little bit more.
Right. But why do that? What drives you for wanting to do that? Like you want to, why?
I believe that I have to showcase myself. I have to make people know that what I'm doing now. Actually, I was very scared to showcase myself as a real estate negotiator in Facebook. So I mostly do things in Instagram or TikTok, because Facebook, I've had it for more than 10 years, and I was teacher Ein back then. So my students who are all grown up now, and the students' parents, even their grandparents, they're there in Facebook, because when I was running my command center, we were like one big family. And I sometimes some of the students were with me for 5-7 years. So, I know they are watching me. So I felt a little bit uneasy with that. But now, from last year, when I had that confidence, I started to put it slowly. So I guess this year the challenge is to do what I have always wanted to do, taking out my alter ego. It's not me.
Right. And it sounds like you have a breakthrough in personal life where you are able to get out of your comfort zone. Can you share with us quickly, when you get out of your comfort zone and you are able to sit back and watch the videos that you have done that you never thought you could have do, how does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel proud, happy. But I must also add this. Last year, John, when we had the first lockdown, and your first action plan was to give us daily training. Then after a month, I said, "Wow, this is tiring. Every day, there's training. I even forget the dates." But those things kept me going. The momentum. So that's why all these ideas came out. Until now, we're still doing it. So I really appreciate that. And I am happy that I'm with Rickfield, KW Malaysia, because actually you have done a lot for us, and that's why I'm very proud of being part of this community.
Thank you so much. Maybe Anita, the last question to you is, how do you feel after 13 years in this organization, and the past 2-3 years has been very dramatically different? It's not to say it's good or bad, but it's just different. How would you say the community in this organization is, and how much has it helped you in your journey right now?
I guess the values that we gain from from the company itself, the forefront and all that, I think that alone is already the main point in building us the way we are today. So basically the values that I gain from the company, and then of course adding in my own values, the trust, we must have some trust in what we are doing, working, because this is all on collaboration. So at the end of the day, when we collaborate, that means we are willing to part information. We are willing to go the extra mile with another person. It may be a person known to us or a person not known to us, and how we work. So I think at the end of the day, the whole process has changed over the years, because I never seen this kind of working environment, this kind of collaborations in my past in the real estate. So even basically now, if I have listings and stuff like that, even before I advertise for myself to sell, I actually send out the listing to all my co-agents that I know work in that area. Before I even promote it myself, because by the time they receive it and they actually put it out to their clients, and then so much so I already have this pool of agents. I know in this location who are the agents in that location, or within the KW, I post it on workplace or send WhatsApp. So I think in the end of the day, it has just changed us. It's just molded us to be better negotiators and better working partners overall, whether in KW or outside KW.
Right. Thank you so much. You guys are both good testimony of how serving each other makes you better at serving the public. Serving each other makes you better at serving people that you are selling property to, and that's very important. So how many of you are learning something from Anita and Noorain today? How many of you are learning something from them? Please put in the chat box, express your gratitude towards their time, their openness, their authenticity in sharing their journey. So thank you so much, Noorain and Anita, for sharing with us so much of your story. We hope to hear more stories from you guys. So don't stop right now. Do more TikToks, videos, and all that. There's a call to ask Noorain, what's your TikTok handle? Please put in the chat box if you can. What's your TikTok handle so people can follow you and add on. So guys, before you go, I want to share some announcements. Then I have a last story to share with you all before we close. That will help you tie up the whole conversation today. So can I have the announcements, please? Right, so trainings are going on. You noticed that tomorrow, I want to just bring your attention, there's a reason why it's colored that way, because tomorrow is a night training. So do not come at 9 a.m. because 9 a.m. nothing is happening tomorrow. So it's 9 p.m. Please watch the time. It's 9 p.m. But what is happening tomorrow? It's you're gonna have a session on how to remargin your business, and Rostan is one of our great training faculty that will be training us about that. And on Wednesday, we have the power of database. Okay. Now, something happening on Wednesday, something different. We are starting this new series called Let's Talk. It's going to be only live on Facebook. It's not going to be on Zoom. So your virtual support, your market center support staff would be sending you, links of the Facebook links to this particular session. So every 2 weeks, we're going to go live on Facebook and talk about things that matter. It's something that can help you recruit agents, something that can help you bring clients in for education, something for you to go and learn as well. So what we are doing is every 2 weeks, there will be a segment. This segment is about focusing on project marketing, focusing on TOD, transit-oriented development. I believe the next session, 2 weeks later, will be focusing on Taman Tun. There will be two good agents from Market Center 1 that is focusing in the Taman Tun area. They're going to talk about Taman Tun area. So we're going to create opportunities to go live on Facebook to educate the public, to help you bring more traction, at the same time add value to the consumer. So please watch this. And I want to bring specific focus to this particular session tomorrow, because what John and Kelvin and his platform has done last week, where they have virtual events right now to generate leads and to generate sales. They actually did something like this for a Bangsa project last week. And I believe there are about 4 bookings done online. Like they did the events, they trained the agents how to reach out to their clients. They gave them assets to reach out to their clients. Now they are having events on a weekly basis on various projects, and they're generating sales right now through that. I mean, there are real bookings happening. People paid money and reserved the units, right? So that's happening tomorrow. So please sign up, speak to them if you want to know more about the project. Okay, next slide, please. Right, Natural Consumer campaign is ongoing. We are not stopping this campaign. These assets are developed for you. I want to put your attention to our refill.com website. We are now gathering close to 13,000 listings. Our goal is to help you reach out to your consumer as fast as possible, directly. So please, if you can, send out this refill.com website link to all your clients so that they will start their search with you through refill.com. And stay tuned, we'll be having certain new announcement of our new technology development where potentially this is even a better opportunity for you to reach out to your clients as we go forward, right? Next slide, please. Now, we are still doing our donation drive. I just spoke to a friend yesterday. I think you're in contact with Yuan already there. He's an agent from a different company, but he's recently repositioned or rented a whole unit of a commercial lot to an international school, and the international school want to move out all their old laptops and PCs. So we are definitely getting this to send over to Marco. So please, we are still collecting donations and also laptops and PCs to help the underprivileged to connect online with their studies right now. Next slide, please. Yeah, I think we are there already. Okay, cool. I want to share a last story before we end. Noorain and Anita was a very good example of how you all could collaborate. I want to share a personal story with you all right now. Is that recently, about 2 weeks ago, my wife was diagnosed COVID-19 positive. Right, she went to the office the last day of last day before lockdown, and came in contact with one of her staff who was very sick but didn't tell them, and they still came into the office. So a bit upset because you have to be responsible. If you're not well, stay home, right? Don't go out. But she caught it, and what happened is when she caught COVID, it was a shock. She quickly went and do the test, because when you found out that her staff was COVID positive, she immediately did her test, and 1 day later she was COVID positive. The whole family was a bit of a challenge, because I have a 92-year-old mother-in-law who was thankfully had her double dose of Pfizer already. I have my shots already. My helper have a shot already. Only my son is under 12, right? So the concern was, what if we were positive? So all of us went to do tests. So thankfully, none of us had positive except her. So she was isolated in her own room and all that. But it was not that. By the way, she's well now. She's out of the room. She's got her release letter from the Kementerian. But I think it was that season of that 10 days that I had to still do this work. But I want to share that there were many support that were coming in. My staff were very supportive. Every time I said I couldn't make it, nobody would argue and say, don't worry, we will do it for you. Everybody was not worried that I'm not there, and they would take charge and take ownership of this. So I want to thank the staff in the market center level and also in the regional level for standing up, standing in. And a lot of messages came. I didn't feel like telling everyone at that point in time, because I needed space and I needed to focus, because for the first time in a very long time, I didn't realize I had to take care of a child. It's not so easy. Because I was like, suddenly for a while, I was like a single father for a few days, sleeping my son, making sure he sleep, do his homework, and all that. No, it was a bit of a chaotic moment for me. But it was the people that supported me. My family supported. Some of the agents, some of them who knew, you all reached out and supported me. So I want to thank you that during those chaotic moments, right, it was being part of this organization, having this support, right, helped me and my family to go through this season. Some of you send ice cream to me. Some of you so kind, send coffee to me. Some of you send durian to me. That's why I'm not losing weight, but it's okay. Keep doing that. It's okay. I enjoy that right now. But what I'm saying is that was one of the seasons that I was in a very high season of chaos, right? But you guys show up. So I want to thank you all. And this is all of us being part of a community that works, that helps each other, that lifts everybody up. So I want you to think about someone in your life today, or in your business, or in your community, or in your team, your groups, in our organization, in our industry today, that you potentially can encourage today. Because everyone is going through a very serious time of discouragement. Only a few of us are staying afloat. So I want us all to lift everyone up. If you can, in your own ways today, this whole week, put a mission that you could reach out to 5 people and ask how are they. Just ask how are they, and how can you serve them? How can you help them? Do that with your clients. Do that with your team members. Do that with your colleagues in the company or outside of the company, help someone this week. Trust me, like what Anita said, you will feel something that is so different that you never felt before. I wish this week will be a good week for you to encourage others so that you can be encouraged, right? There is a certain emotional change when we are able to help each other out. Those who refresh others will be refreshed. Thank you. That's biblical as well. Those who refresh others will be refreshed. Take this opportunity because there's so much needs out there. You have a few hundred people in our organization that needs help, and they're not in this room here right now. What if those who are still alone? So go out there, reach out to someone, refresh someone, help someone. I hope this will start your week. So thank you, Noorain, again. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, everyone who was on this call. I hope today has been a blessing to you. I hope today you have been rich. You have been powered up to run your next week. So I will see you guys at the next training. Thank you so much.